Weird, yeah.
But then again, I think
You know what's weird though is that fucking hotel room
16-year-old
scene.
I think
It's exactly how it went. First time I
hot
fucked a guy.
take. I think 16-year-olds have full knowledge of consent. I don't think there's any
You're
16-year-old out there.
It depends on the
You're
16-year-old.
retarded. I mean, most people are retarded.
Are
You kidding
I
me?
think
it's
it
a good
depends.
fucking stance.
I think it just all comes down to how you demonize sex.
They're in high school though, bro. They're walking around in high school. You got to think about like, bro, they're gonna hang out with you.
I'm going
It's
anecdotal.
kinda weird.
When I was 16, maybe I'm a guy. Maybe it's a guy thing. When I was 16, it doesn't matter what age group I would have fucking fucked at that
I
point.
feel like alcohol could be 18, but I don't know about.
I don't
No,
know.
but like, it's kind of age
No,
of consent
we
is so
set a
fucking
line
weird.
arbitrarily
If
because
I want to take
seems
this
like a lot of people
more
under this age
anecdotal,
can't figure the shit out.
if I want to take this
understand
more
sex.
anecdotal, as soon as I was a freshman in high school, I knew exactly what sex was and I knew exactly what I could do with it. So
Yeah, but that's the same argument
you're
as like, yeah,
fine,
I'd
dude.
fuck my
Brain
high school
still
teacher if she
developing.
was fucking hot, you know? Like, of course.
whatever though.
But
How
these
many
are
people
like-
do you, even in your consent ages? How many people
Are you gonna
do
pick her
have
up from the
sex
high
with
school
that you might-
party and
you
then
might
see all her
fucking
friends?
disagree to that
You're
sex
like
with?
25.
I think it comes
What's up,
down to how you
baby?
demonize it.
Oh, you
No,
like
I'm-
Justin Bieber? Get in the
Yes,
car, bitch.
If you're logically thinking
What a
about it,
fucking-
like
that's the
physical
downside of
maturity
young-
and mental maturity are like completely.
Or you
different.
gotta get ready to fight some dads. If that's the case,
That's the
bro. 'Cause
problem.
they're-
That's the problem.
If you're talking about mental maturity, your brain doesn't really develop until you're 25. So like,
True.
if that
Well,
women mature faster.
bruh,
but
come
yeah.
on.
no, brains like actually Google it. Brains don't.
I
develop
mean,
till
that's
either
not.
one
You
is
can't
until
say
25.
that like in context of consent, bro.
It
No,
is your
that-
frontal
No, you
lobe,
can't
which
because
is your
you're talking about
decision
maturity.
making.
You
No, I mean,
develop.
women are
So what the
trained
fuck? What
early
is
on,
25?
watch
What?
out
So you're
for
saying
creepy
people can
motherfuckers.
only consent to
Yeah.
25? You just
No,
said
I'm
nothing.
saying it doesn't make sense that the line is 18. If you're when you're 18, you can literally
Oh, the line,
get a
yeah,
gun
okay,
and
okay,
kill
okay,
somebody.
Kill a
You can
baby.
get hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I
in a
misunderstood
hit.
what you said.
You
Okay,
can't
yeah.
Frontal lobe.
That doesn't make no
Yeah, it
sense.
is.
Frontal lobe part of your brain
is
does develop,
arbitrary,
and
yeah.
that's what makes
When
decisions.
you're 18, you're still an idiot, dude. You're still an idiot. But in the section of consent, you know exactly what you're doing. In any world,
Most
not
young
just
girls. There are
What-
much more
young
easily
girls that
influenced
don't
by
give a
14,
shit.
you're
much
right.
more easily influenced.
You're right.
It's like, do you want the
Yeah,
actual
It's-
answer
it's-
to why
it's
the arbitrary
but
number is
it's
18?
kind of makes sense
for the
right?
age of consent.
It reaches
It
a
makes
level
sense.
where
It
yeah.
makes sense because we
I don't
have
know
to
if it
put
makes
a number on it somewhere.
No,
So
but
It's
it's-
cultural.
it
It's
makes
cultural.
sense
That's
because
what
the
makes
average
sense,
because the
we
average
grew up
age
in
of the
this
graduating high school
culture.
student is 17.
Yeah, the
so it makes
culture
sense that we don't
definitely
want a
is a
bunch
big
of
part.
teen
I
pregnancies.
mean, if we
Yeah,
grew up
but
like
it's-
if we grew up like
back then
100
also,
years
like,
ago,
having
we'd say,
children.
Yeah,
yeah,
back
this makes
then.
sense, 14 years, like having
No,
sex.
but-
Japan,
Yeah.
it's still 13 in Japan, by the way. 13.
Hey, yeah,
and
I got a question. How do you
That
feel
makes
about
sense.
Sweden with
Japan
15?
also fucking controls the
I
internet.
would have been full control at 15 too, and that's what
Yeah.
I find.
Are you
I
okay
would
with
have
Sweden at 15? I am.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
No, I think that's
Because
incredibly
I-
good.
I'm telling you, I knew exactly what sex is, and to be truthful.
When did they go to
middle-
high school though? What are their
middle
grades
school.
out there?
Yeah,
But-
what age
No,
do
like
they,
out in
what
these
age do they
countries
quit
that have
school?
lower-
Yeah, I'm not going by GPA. Like,
No, what age
honestly,
do
I'm
they
not
quit
fucking
school?
anyone
If it
younger
comes,
than, like,
if it
20.
comes down
Mm.
to, if it comes down to being aware and knowing what things are, it happens at a lot earlier age. But then I understand the argument that not everybody's like me. Some people maybe at this age still aren't there, and I get that. So that's why.
Get
That's
in
why
my
we
van.
have.
I'll give you some candy.
That's why we have. Yeah, exactly. That's why we have to put a marker somewhere. But
Yeah,
that marker,
how old is
that
Shaylin?
marker,
Get manipulated.
that marker is
How old is
still arbitrary.
Shaylin, the chick that dated
It's
Mr.
not
Girl?
arbitrary.
It is because why are we putting?
Do you want me to
people in-
explain to you
arbitrary
again
in
why
a
the
way
age
that
is
fucking
18?
Catches all.
Oh, we put people
That's
in
just the
prison
majority.
for a very long time.
Do you want me to explain to you why the age is 18?
Yeah, go on.
So in America, the
Sure.
reason why the age of consent is 18 because the average age of the graduating high school senior is 17. So we have the age of consent at 18 to prevent high school pregnancies so we don't have a fuck ton of kids randomly dropping out because they're becoming moms and dads. That's why it's 18.
Well,
It's not
that
some
is a
arbitrary
good
magic
answer.
made up number.
Yeah,
Alright,
and
that's a
plus,
good
they're still
number, but
eight.
that's fucked
Like you're
up.
not
That's
out of the
fucked
house
up.
until you're 18. If you're living with your
Then-
parents, you're still under
if-
their roof
Yeah, like-
and a
If
minor.
that's the case,
much.
then slap somebody on the hand. But there's people that go to jail for a very fucking long time. So it's
No,
not.
I don't agree
not
with
just
that like version of that shit where it's like the guy's
it's
18
not-
and the chick's 16 and shit like that. It's dumb.
Or maybe whatever. If the guy's 26 and the
Well, yeah,
girl's
the-
fucking 17.
That's the yeah. I
And-
had a
and-
girlfriend in high school and I was 18. And
I
she was
honestly-
slightly younger.
Okay, it might be whatever. It
Most
might be the same thing as Leonardo DiCaprio fucking 18-year-olds. Whatever. We might not find it.
Fucking.
We might not agree with it, but sorry, we might not agree with it. But it comes down to me. I would have known exactly what I'm doing at least my high school years. I'm not gonna dox myself any
Yeah,
more than that. At
but,
least my high
Like,
school
we're
years.
just doing it
I
by a
don't-
percentage of like how many people know what the fuck they're doing and know what consent is.
It doesn't
There's
matter.
fucking
though. Who
grown ass
knows?
fucking
Who
people
knows?
today. That
It
don't
does
know.
matter.
Well, it does matter. You can't
Still,
use a
I mean,
bunch of
there's still gonna
anecdotal
have
evidence and then
people
say
that
someone else's
are
actual
18.
evidence is just like, oh,
There's-
well, who cares about that?
I still
There's
think it's
grown
weird though.
up
Like if
women-
they're even if they changed and then you're like seeking out like 16-year-olds and you're fucking like 25, bro. Like
Whatever.
personally, I
Yeah,
don't
like
think
if
it's
you're
different.
so socially
I
inept
think
that you
people
can go
meet in
after
the
fucking
middle
high
on the
schoolers at
maturity
25 because
level.
you don't know how to
So
like
that
talk to a woman
25-year-old is
your
like an
age.
immature motherfucker.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? It's sex.
25-year-olds
At the end of the
immature?
day.
Yeah.
You
He's
have,
dating a
there's some of them are.
17-year-old, yeah. Obviously. He's
Oh
not
yeah,
fucking-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're seeking out 16-year-olds, then
Yeah,
it's probably
he's
because you
like the
can't get
mind of a
anyone
fucking
your
17-year-old.
age.
Yeah.
So what? You
That's
don't
right.
agree with that, but at the same time, should they go to jail for fucking 20 years?
No,
Yes.
no, I don't agree with that shit at all.
It depends on the
Yeah.
relationship. Like if it's manipulative, yes. If it's not,
But
no.
it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Who's
It-
got a
Well, it does
Manipulative.
matter, yes.
There's-
And
there's
a
no-
lot of
Mean
people
by
care.
manipulative.
No, it does.
Just-
It-
The
you
parents
can-
of
you
the-
can, you can easily manipulate a high schooler, man. It's not that hard, man.
Yeah, like-
especially when you're adults,
What the
it's
fuck,
not
bro?
Yeah,
that
but-
hard.
What do you
but-
get it?
Philosophy
You can
101, psychiatry 101.
you could also
or
be- you could
psychology?
You could also
Yeah, they're
be a-
easily influenced more.
You could also be a 40-year-old with billions of dollars and easily influence a 22-year-old.
It just-
And that would be
That's
just as
fine.
creepy.
Fine.
What's the difference?
That'd be
Yeah,
just
but
as
This
weird and
is like
creepy.
a threshold
What's the difference?
to like catch all most of the fucking
manipulating-
people that are.
You're just
too
manipulating.
Yeah, if
on
you're-
a
if you're-
different level.
Yeah, if you're
I don't
like
think money really has to do with it. You can just
What
like
if a 16-year-old
Yeah.
manipulates another
talk to
16-year-old?
them and smooth
Like,
talk. You know,
then-
they think you're hella cool because you
Okay.
have this or whatever.
My first girlfriend was
Whatever,
like
yeah.
21
Yeah,
when I
16-year-old
was 16.
could do the same thing. Like,
Cool, but that's that person's choice. Do you think that person really didn't know what
What?
they were doing? If I
but
was
I'm
16,
saying, like, if the 16-year-old manipulates another 16-year-old,
no, but
it's the
even
same. It's the same thing.
let's say this has happened to me, but even if the older person,
I gotta go, but have a good night, all. Thank
have a
you.
good one.
yeah,
Good chat. See ya.
even if the older person was like that, it was still my choice. I don't see anything wrong with
It
it.
was good luck meeting the parents. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
It's like a
It's
serious
not really
thing.
an argument, bro. But okay.
but I think
I mean, like, you
that's a
can say it's
different
your
level,
choice, but
bro.
like you can
That's-
also say like it's your choice to like drink at 15 or some shit. That doesn't make it like okay or even remotely like intelligent.
But
to
I
do.
knew exactly what I'm doing. It was
The drinking thing, I think the age of 21 is more harmful than good, in my opinion.
It's
Yeah.
not coercive, man.
Should
The
be
first time
18.
I drank, the first time I smoked weed, I was 12 years old. It was up to me.
Like
the
basically
person
your
that
whole
gave it to
argument
me-
is like, well, if the
the
teenager
person-
says it's okay,
sure,
it's okay.
sure,
But
the
it's like this is
person
why
that
we have
gave it to me-
statutory rape laws.
Yeah, but the person that gave me the weed at 12 years old, you could say that was manipulative, but it was still me that chose to do it.
Yeah, this is why we
Okay,
have
but you-
possession laws.
What?
Can be
This is why we
coerced
have
into
dealing
it.
and possession laws. Even if you're in possession of it, if you made the choice to smoke the weed, you can still go to jail for it. That's how that works.
Right. Right.
Yes.
I-
I mean,
I-
if you're-
Like, you
Yeah,
say
but
right,
we
but
can-
you
we
seem
can make
insanely
decisions,
confused
bro.
about these
Like when we
concepts.
were growing up,
It's actually
It's
like
a
giving me
hard
an aneurysm.
concept.
you
It's
make a lot
it's
more
hard-
mistakes when you're young than when you're older.
don't-
That's definitely for sure.
Like
I
you-
get it, but every age group makes mistakes. That's my hard part of. Well, there's certain ages that are beyond that. Like I don't. There's certain things that you're just being evil to do. So there's certain that, but the capacity between like teenage years, like I just don't see.
Your frontal lobe, though, is the part of your brain that doesn't develop fully till you're 25, and
Sure,
it has to
sure.
all do with decision making, actually. So
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but 25 is not
Sure.
a number we are like choosing for anything. So
but
we need to
even-
make like a
you're
border.
still
you
finding
know, like,
out, and you're still
even
finding out who
after-
you
you
are.
can
and
like a
shit.
border
Yeah.
where the border is
Even
like should be
after
like where it like changes the most or whatever, or it reaches a specific percentage, and yeah, it's a question where the border is. Like if 18 is that border, like I don't really care, but I mean yeah.
No, I get how there's a number. I get how there's a number on it because there is a number, but I think that number is arbitrary because I don't think that number is the same for everybody.
I literally
A
already explained to you
16-year-old
how it's
a
not
16-year-old
arbitrary.
I know.
The only way
if
I
you're-
agree with you is if like
you're-
you're like 18,
your
19,
sense.
and you're
I'm
trying
not
to
talking
date
about your
like a
sense, by the way.
16-year-old or something like that.
It's
Yeah,
a couple
Bobber,
years.
It should be
Bobber, I'm,
equal, bro.
Bobber,
If you're
I'm
18,
not
Yeah, like
talking
if you're like
about it in
20,
your
maybe, and you guys met in high school, and you're a freshman and
Well,
they're a
then what
senior.
sense are you talking about it in? Like,
Well,
are,
I disagree with you in general because even if you made that 19, it's still the same thing as what you're saying. It doesn't matter.
Okay, listen. I've got anecdotal
that doesn't have
evidence
to
for
do
part
with
of
the
this part.
average
we're-
graduate. That
no,
doesn't have to do
not
with the age
socially,
of the
bro.
average
And-
graduating high school student.
So,
Okay, fine.
It's not the same because you're
difference?
gonna have to bring
What's
those
the
people around your social life. Like socially, that's like I don't know what kind of friend group you have, but that's just like
You don't think an
socially not
18-year-old
really
in high
accepting.
school doesn't know about contraception and all that stuff?
No, I'm saying like if you're like
One,
a
I
20,
don't
like
think they're
an old
mature enough to
person and
make
you're
those decisions.
dating a
And two, an
16-year-old.
18-year-old is
Why?
within
Bring 'em
legal
around.
consent.
Why? Why doesn't a 17-year-old know that contraception? will
One,
keep
I
them from
don't
getting
think that an
pregnant?
18-year-old is mature enough to make that decision, but regardless, they're still within consenting age. That's fine. A 17-year-old has fucking
Why?
school the
How
next
does
day
how
to
does
deal
that
with.
change?
That's what I'm talking about.
How
Is
does
like
that
this is
change
why
when
the
you're
law
19?
is 18. Is because high
How
school
does that
students
change
already
when you're
have so
19?
much going on.
But how does that change when you're 19 and have to go to college and all this new shit? I would think
Because
people
college isn't
going into
required to
college-
go to by the state. You're not required to go to
Well,
college.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You're
when they're
required to
going
go
their-
through one. You're required to go through K through 12. You're not required to go to college.
Okay,
That's
okay,
why,
and then
because you're
we-
able to make the
and
choice
then-
to have a child or go to college. But the amount of people
And
who have children who are going to college is exceptionally low. That's why your argument is incredibly dumb.
I'll please.
I don't really
I'll please.
have an argument. I don't.
Oh, please. I have an example for you. Okay, I have a coworker, right? And he told me he lost his virginity when he was 14 years old, and the person he lost his virginity to was his mom's best friend, who was 29 at the time. He says he's completely like a consenting participant. He thinks that, hey, I'm not a victim. I liked it. I like doing it, and blah 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 blah. Do you think that's right or wrong?
I think it's
I
incredibly
think
wrong.
he's an idiot. I think he's an idiot. He's probably going to grow out of it.
14, you said?
Yeah, I think that's
He's
incredibly wrong. I think he's going to
14
grow
when
up.
he
He's
lost
going to
his
have
virginity.
regrets about that later
I
in
think-
life
I
that he's
think
not going to
an
have about
idiot.
it now. Because, like you said, it feels good, and because he's so young, he's not thinking about the later consequences in his life. He's just thinking about what
he's not.
feels
He's not
good
14
now.
now. He's 27 now. But
Nobody
when he
thinks
told me
of
about
the
it,
consequences.
well, what
Nobody thinks of
consequences, bro?
consequences.
There's no consequences.
Nobody thinks of consequences
I
afterwards.
mean,
He's
virginity
just-
is super
in
important
that-
to you,
in
like
that-
some people.
Yeah,
I guess.
in that moment, he's just being a lover boy fucking idiot. That's my answer.
He's
But he's
27,
open with
bro. I don't really have
arbitrary.
consequences at that point, you know. I mean, it's fine.
He's probably going to grow out of it.
That's the social aspect I was talking to you about. Like when you try to introduce it to other people socially, then it's kind of I would not accept that. It's just kind
I'd
of
also argue that's
I mean,
still
yeah,
wrong
no,
too,
no,
because
no,
the
no, no,
29,
no,
because
no,
the
no,
20-something-year-old
no,
is
Why
going
is
to
that even
understand
like? Why is that even like a
consequences of
problem?
that.
Like, what are we trying to solve anyways? Like, I don't know.
I think the age of consent is arbitrary. That's the problem.
I
But
think it is.
I mean, it's fine. Like, what are we trying to solve? Like, there has to be a problem first, right? Like, are we trying to
It's-
like satisfy the
I guess the
or whatever?
problem is, I guess
a
the
social problem, in my opinion.
I guess the
That
problem is
is-
he can't find someone his age to bang. I don't know, man.
But the problem, I think, comes into giving really long prison sentences.
Bro, if I had a kid and she was 14 and this scenario was playing out,
Dude.
I would fucking beat the shit out of any fucking
Yeah,
dude.
but
that
that's,
you're
yeah,
talking
and I
about.
think gender also plays a huge role on it too.
that's your thing. But I think
No,
the problem is prison sentences.
So, would you
It's
argue
like-
that there needs to be like, what,
it's like
rehabilitation
content, to be
programs
honest.
for people like this,
I don't
like on a
think it's
case-by-case
17
basis?
prisons, and yeah, bro. A
What?
14-year-old's word, they can say anything. Like they could easily fuck them and then flip it and say, "Oh my, like, I don't like it. I didn't like it." Like even though they did fully consent, bro. And then everyone's gonna take like, that's
So
they can have trauma.
women can say that too.
Well, again, this
Like,
is why we
it's not
have
just for-
statutory.
They
This
could
is why
have
we have
trauma after
statutory
that shit,
laws.
though.
Some people can, some people don't. That's the thing. That's the problem. Some people that don't even, because at 14 you don't know if you're schizophrenic, and then at 20 when they know they're schizophrenic, they're gonna probably obsess about that one time every day, and now they have a problem. That's how it plays out. Some people that, like, for me, bro, I fucking fuck when I was 14 and shit, man. I don't fucking think anything of it. I don't think anything of it. There was no coercion. That girl, she's ugly to me now, but I don't give a fuck. The girl I fucked when I was 22 was ugly to me now. It's the same shit to me. But if I had a mental disorder where I obsessed about it every day, yeah, and then everybody in society.
I just don't even know how you go about meeting that person unless it's online.
No,
and
it
then
was
that makes it even more weird to
It
me.
was in school.
Wait, what? Oh my god. That's
No,
fucking weird.
I'm just saying like younger, like what we're talking about. Like
It
a
was the
16,
situation
14. Like, how the fuck do you even meet someone like that? Unless it's online.
because I found weed and then I had to meet people that sold me weed and then I met
Well,
met
that's
people
yeah,
through
that's
that.
fine.
So then you meet people through that.
That's drugs. That's drugs. I'm talking
Sure,
about
and
like
those
seeking
people
out,
are
like
usually scummy.
meeting like hot young girls that you think are hot or something.
No, I think that's
I mean, maybe in the club. I don't know. Like,
They can't go to the club.
He's
I
14.
don't know. Like, I feel like I've
Because-
seen like 16-year-olds in in the club and stuff. So I don't know.
They are. And
I
they go
think
to
it's
festivals. They go to EDM festivals and all that shit. So I don't know.
And do you think like
Well,
they're
I-
allowed to
I
be
just
there?
think
Or
I
do you
just think
think,
I think they're
society.
or do you think like they like
my
sneak
gripe-
into these places illegally?
My gripe isn't the age consent because I know there is something that and we have to put a number on it.
We already
We
have.
Yeah, we have to. There's just a number that we have to put on it, and I get that. I'm okay with it. Just long prison sentences don't make sense to me. But when it's seen, I think there should be more nuance to it. Like, was it like truly coercive? Just like anything else, man.
But you can't prove that. How do you know if it's
Yeah,
coercive or not? That's the hard.
Andrew Tate's shit, bro. If they
I
could
don't know
prove
what-
Well, I mean,
it was-
Andrew Tate
let's
literally
say-
admitted
let's-
to coercing
okay.
women.
Yeah, let's say if it was something like that. Yeah, that shit is coercive.
What
But
did
if,
you
like-
What did you do? Like, what
I-
did you
well,
It was something like
from
Andrew
what he
Tate
was
did.
saying.
I would call that even worse. I
It's
don't
like
know.
sex
Yeah.
trafficking. Like, what are you saying? Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not coercive. Like, that's just
Oh,
like
Andrew
all
Tate
different
haters
things.
are cringe.
But
He's
if you're
not a sex
talking about-
trafficker until he's proven guilty. Like,
But let's
you
say-
brainwash.
Yeah,
Watching-
and yeah, sure, but whatever. You know, we just assume right now.
We
like,
don't
it doesn't
know.
matter,
We're
like,
assuming. Yes, you're right.
I'm just
you're
going
right,
off
you're
of
right,
what he
you're right.
said in his own
I'm,
videos.
They
I'm
take
talking
5-second
about-
clips though of what he said, and then
I mean,
people
it's
have
not
to
about
go
Andrew
down.
Tate. It's just about the scenario.
Fine.
Okay,
fine,
I'm
Tate
going
fan.
off of what Andrew Tate said in his 10-minute
I'm not a
video.
fan, bro. Like, bro,
Hey,
just
okay,
don't hate on
fine,
him.
Fine. He's not guilty yet. But from the shit he said, it was pretty bad, bro.
He hasn't been proven
the
guilty.
way he
That's the way you
describes
say
it.
it.
The way he
I
describes
know
it.
that that's coercing.
He had a
I would
webcam girl
describe that
business,
as-
bro. He had a webcam girl business.
Yeah,
like,
but
he
in
dealt with
general-
girls, obviously.
In general, I would describe that as bad.
So what I heard is like that he took his the passports away. I don't know if that's true or whatever.
Yeah, he
I
admitted
don't
to
know either.
stealing
We
their
don't know.
passports.
I heard.
That's
We don't know.
virtual thing. I mean, that's
I mean,
essentially
fucking-
pimping.
Okay, let's say Jeffrey Epstein then. Fuck. Okay, fine. Let's
Damn.
say Jeffrey Epstein.
That's a big
That
jump.
shit is bad, right? That I know.
There's
There's
that's
levels.
rape, bro. That's no
Yeah.
consent then. There. What the fuck?
I know. There's levels to
So why are you
bad.
making these bad examples? As like, what the fuck? Just
Like,
what do you
if
mean by
have-
coercion? Like coercion? Like you mean
The-
like if you
what
say
I'm
like you show like a
saying
big car, like sure,
what
yeah,
I'm
damn,
saying-
bro.
What I'm
It's
saying is, if a 16-year-old met a 25-year-old and they were having fun every single day, listening to the same music, and they were on the same page, and they happened to get whatever sexually attractive, that 25-year-old shouldn't be going to prison for fucking 20 years. Like,
Okay. What
I
if-
don't
what
Well, I
if-
mean,
what if the
there's
guy
a
just
couple
wants to have
issues
sex
that
and
I
the
have
girl
with
just wants to have sex, you know?
Yeah.
What if the girl just wants to have a one-night stand and the guy also?
So,
But then,
whatever.
I mean, you're just saying they have to have the same hobbies, so you just ask them, do you have the same hobbies? And they say yes, and then
I mean, he's right to an extent because, like, 35. If a
That's all.
35-year-old like going after 20-year-olds, I mean,
but that's not
That's the-
illegal.
that's like-
Same thing.
that's
it's
not
the
illegal.
same thing. It's the same thing.
Nah,
it's
the
our-
No, it's not.
30s
It's
gonna
not the
be-
same thing.
No, the age thing you're putting on it is the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
No, it's
A
not.
32-year-old dating a-
A 32-year-old dating a 20-year-old
is not the same at all as a 22-year-old dating a 10-year-old. You're
Okay,
absolutely insane. You're smoking dick if you think that's real.
A 40-year-old dating an 18-year-old.
40.
Is it the same thing as
That's
a
creepy,
17-year-old
but that's
dating a
legal.
22-year-old?
You're gonna have no friends. Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
creepy as
exactly.
fuck, but that's
Fine.
legal.
I don't. We're
A
talking about the
17-year-old that's in love with a 23-year-old.
That's
That's,
illegal.
that's fine. That's fine.
That's illegal,
It's
though.
not fine in my fucking state.
Yeah,
You're
that's
going to jail for
illegal.
that.
What are we talking- In California, if you date an 18-year-old, you're going to jail. That's
Oh,
what you're saying.
14,
So
you
they're
said?
still,
Or 40.
the whole
17
thing is they're still a
California,
minor in
17.
your parents under your parents'
14.
roof.
Oh.
Like that's I think you're missing the point for that shit.
Yeah,
Like-
but it doesn't. I don't think
That's-
people
if
deserve
if
long
16
sentences for fucking sex that it seems is seemingly consensual on both sides. And then you have to talk about which one of the persons didn't really have consent. And I think that's ridiculous.
I mean, most 16-year-olds, if you think about it,
I do.
are fucking virgins too, bro.
So,
Well, yeah, okay,
so like
you're-
here, let me
you're-
try this angle because I think maybe you're
Fine.
missing it. So like, so if you want to prevent a crime from occurring. Say you want to stop people from breaking into cars. You
Right.
make a law that says if you break in a car, like you go to jail for like 5 years. And now all of a sudden
Right.
we have this massive decrease of people breaking into cars. Does that make sense to you?
100%. That's why I told you there needs to
Okay,
be
so
a gap
how
somewhere.
does statutory rape laws now not make sense to you?
It does. I told you. We need to put a number on somewhere because of the predators. It's not
He just
because of
doesn't
these.
think the
Okay,
punishment
but
is
you
It's
seem to
equal
have
the
an
crime.
issue with
It's not
the
because of these
consequence
love
of the
stories.
law.
It's not because of these love stories that I'm talking about. We put this number somewhere because we have to protect people against predators. But at the same time, it's
And
hurting other people. That was
wouldn't
all
you say
consent.
that like a 25-year-old that's going after a 17-year-old, even though they could,
Laws
you know,
aren't
talk to
nuanced.
another 25-year-old, wouldn't you say it's a little predatory at least?
No,
Wait,
No.
what a 40-year-old or what are you saying? 14?
no. I wouldn't say it's predatory at all.
25 to 40? That's not predatory.
Bro, there's no way you're
25,
meeting these
Even-
people unless it's
even
predatory.
17,
That's what I was trying to
who cares?
say.
Yeah,
Dude,
like in
when you
what
think-
natural
years older.
situation is like a 25-year-old meeting a 16-year-old?
It's totally fine. 16-year-old?
16, yeah.
Manny,
16 is
Manny,
predatory.
Like,
Yeah,
what
like a
what,
idiot,
what
like
natural
Coachella,
social
maybe, yeah,
situations are
Coachella.
25-year-olds and
In my
16-year-olds
area,
sharing
Coachella.
together?
In my area, at least, a lot of 25-year-olds are partying with high school people.
To be honest, like, not a 16-year-old dance.
Oh my
That
God,
sounds
that is-
incredibly like where at though?
Well,
Where? At home.
the 25-year-olds are probably
Stuck in
hosting
high school,
parties.
imagine being
that-
stuck in
And
high
would you
school.
not argue that's a little bit predatory that they wouldn't go out to bars, that they have to invite all these children to their homes in order to party with them?
Or no.
Instead of like
no.
going out to a bar naturally and meeting
Probably
people their
welcome.
age?
You know, when they're party
Predatory
hosted, they just come.
There are predatory people, and there are just an 18-year-old in high school that is rich that threw a party at their house, and some 25-year-olds showed up.
Yeah, and is
Okay,
that
that's
not
weird.
predatory to show up instead of just going to a bar where you
No.
could meet people your
No.
age? You have you have to
No,
go and
not if-
prey on
I went to
people
high school
younger than
parties and,
you
like,
significantly
No,
It
at
was
these
like
parties
some
that
of
a
the
high schooler is
graduates went,
throwing.
You're
but-
turning all of this into predatory.
You should have said the
If-
25-year-old hosted the party. Then it would make kind of like.
Well, no, because then I would still use my argument of why is a 25-year-old having to invite a bunch of children over to their apartment or whatever instead of just going to a bar or whatever and just meeting people their age or inviting all their coworkers to their place. Like I'm saying, like you don't need to like go to these parties as an adult. You don't need to host these parties as an adult to meet people your age.
How
You're
do you
doing
find
it
out? How do you
intentionally.
find- Are you selling the weed?
In
Like if you're selling them
reality,
weed,
Like you're doing it
okay.
intentionally to prey on young people
No,
to
you're
find
not.
sexual
No, you're
interactions with
not.
people under the age of consent. That's the
No,
only
you're
reason to
selling
go to
them
these
weed or
events.
giving them
You're not going as a
alcohol,
25-year-old.
then,
You're not going
you
to a
can say
party
hi,
with
but
16-year-olds to make
then that's
friends
an
and find like
excuse,
drinking
but-
buddies and
If you're
shit.
going to a party, you're going to a party. You don't know if 16-year-olds are there. You don't know.
Yeah, but
if
there's no
18-year-olds
reason
are there.
as a
You don't know.
25-year-old
How
to
did
go
you
to a
find out
party
about it,
full of
though?
16-year-olds. There is literally no reason. You have
Because
nothing in
everybody's
common.
in the loop. Because
I'm saying, how do you find out about it, bro?
Everybody's
Unless
in
you're
the
like
loop.
selling them weed or getting them alcohol,
Yeah.
then it's
Yeah,
okay
exactly,
for as
but
an
everybody's
excuse.
doing that.
That's an
But
excuse though.
everybody's doing
But
that.
like other
Yeah, and
than
that is
I don't
yeah,
know
and
how
that's
you find
also
out.
illegal. So it's a poor excuse. All that stuff selling
And-
alcohol and weed
and
to
that-
minors, that's incredibly
that-
illegal.
I mean, that's the only
for that
reason why I would
exact
think a
reason, because it
25-year-old
leads to
pull up
predatory
high school
behavior.
parties, 'cause he's the plug.
That's
It's
why this is
harmful to
arbitrary.
children.
It's arbitrary. It's arbitrary.
But
man.
high school students usually go to college parties. That's not like a normal thing to do, you know? That
When I
happens
was
a lot.
18, when I was in high school, I went to some college parties.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? Actually, when I
High
was
school students
16,
don't
what am I talking about? When I
don't-
was 16, I've been to some college parties.
Because statistics.
I
Yeah,
get
I'd
it.
say it's incredibly anecdotal because I get anecdotes
Do you
because
guys
I
live
get
in
anecdotes
California?
that like in all my college
I
parties
don't
I've been
get how
to,
you guys
we
haven't
booted
done
out
this.
any kid that was under 21 that couldn't drink with us and shit. I mean, I
And
don't
you guys
know.
are weird. That's your fucking shit.
I think we were
I've
just
been to-
normal people that didn't want fucking children at our parties and shit, and like didn't
That's
want to
the
get in
thing.
any
That's
sort of
the
like
thing.
legal
You guys are-
trouble
exactly.
because we weren't
exactly.
fucking weirdos.
Exactly.
I mean, there are 21.
Like, because, you know, like, we had no problem with game. Like, you know, we had no problem getting game with, like, people our age. We didn't need to, like, hit up people that were
Fine.
younger and more ignorant than us. You know, we could just fucking talk to women our age and fuck them.
But you think like 18, 16, 17-year-olds are ignorant?
I think they're more ignorant than a 25-year-old, yes. I think they know less about the earth
Sure.
on whole than a 25-year-old,
Sure.
yes.
Sure. But what about a
Earth.
22-year-old? What about a 22-year-old and a 50-year-old?
And a 50-year-old, yeah, of course a 50-year-old is going to know fucking more than a 23-year-old. Yeah, but that's
And
not
what
illegal.
is-
That's not what we're
what-
talking about.
Why is that? Why is that not illegal?
Because the
It all
23-year-old is
depends,
above
too.
the age of
It
consent.
depends.
It's arbitrary. You're fucking putting a number.
And again,
on
I've
it.
already
It's
explained to you
not.
why it is not
Yeah,
arbitrary
fine,
in America.
pregnancies. Oh my god, pregnancies. Then it has nothing to do with consent, just pregnancies. And whatever. I might agree with you on that. But what I'm talking about is different than that.
Where do you think it should be? The number?
Me?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
8.
And personally, 8? No. Hell no.
So,
I would say 16, but it'd have to
I
be.
would-
Bro, why not 8? No, 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 no. Fuck
Graduate
you.
high
Explain to
school.
me why not 8. No, fuck you. Explain to me why not 8.
Because that shit is just no. You gotta
Explain. No, explain to me. Don't just say no. Fucking explain to me. Why not 8? Why should I not go and fuck a fucking
Because
18-year-old then? Using your logic.
First,
I need to know now. I'm so
have to
fucking
finish
ass
the
mad with your
first
dumbass
grade,
fucking
bro. No,
anecdotal
because
logic,
they
bro.
have to
You
finish-
need to
they have
fucking
to
explain to me
finish
why the
the
fuck
first
it is
grade,
not
bro.
okay to fuck an 18-year-old, but it's totally
to
fucking
finish
okay to
first
fuck a
grade.
14-year-old.
That point,
Explain
they
that
know
shit to me,
nothing.
bro. Fucking explain that to me.
When was the point where you started realizing the fucking world? That's where I would put my age. When I started realizing the world, I wouldn't put it anywhere before that. For
That's
me,
subjective
So,
to you.
so wait,
Okay,
so
that's
wait, so you're saying I could
23
like fuck a
then.
4-year-old if they're
For me-
fucking consciously aware?
for me, it was freshman year. No, for me, it was freshman year. But just like I told you, I
what?
wouldn't. For me, I was aware of sex and everything.
Bro,
in
so you
freshman
didn't
year of
grow
high
at all
school.
from freshman year to
No,
now.
you idiot. Hold on. I
So you're
told you.
saying-
Well, were you?
For me,
It's like, were you
for
like
me-
put into sexual
for me-
education? Like, would you really say that you
No,
have that you would
I
have full
knew.
grasp of the
100%
consequences
grasp.
of a pregnancy or
me,
something like that at
100%.
15?
I knew what that was, but
But
I
like,
didn't give a
would you
fuck.
would you say
But-
that you would be able to fully comprehend the full extent of the consequences of a pregnancy at
Yes, if
15?
somebody told, if
You're
somebody told me
crazy.
yes.
You're
Yes,
either
I
actually
would've
autistic or
known.
you're like part of the 1%. No
No,
average 15-year-old
no,
is able to comprehend the long-term like problems that arise from a
Your
pregnancy.
IQ is lower than mine. That's all you're saying then. You're just saying you don't understand fucking simple concepts. I would have.
No, I'm
known
saying an
exactly
average fucking
that.
teenager, an average 15-year-old would not be able to like figure out the long-term, like 20 to 18 years down the line,
not letting
long-term
you
ripple
talk.
effects of that.
I mean,
Not
I figured
letting
out
talk.
like to use condoms, and then I hated them. That's
I
what. That's how.
knew-
That's what I
Exactly.
figured out.
I knew what all that is, and I maybe would have been a little shady with it. Whatever. I knew what all that is, but it's not about me.
I call bullshit.
It's not about me though. That's what I told you from the beginning. We need to put
It does depend, I guess, but on average, that like
Not
14-year-olds are
everybody-
dumb as fuck,
not-
bro. Like
Not
even more on
everybody is
average.
Like exactly. I would have said a lot of 14-year-olds were dumb compared to me, and that's why I wouldn't put it at that age.
Totally.
Hey, out.
So you're
How-
just
how-
Giga
what would you
Chad,
feel about
woke,
genius? There's
most
a genius
woke
sometimes, I
14-year-old
guess,
on
sure.
earth,
You
bro.
need to
Just
put it
blowing his
somewhere.
teachers away. He taught his teacher algebra, bro.
Hey, out. What would you feel if your daughter dated a
Yes,
30-year-old man at 15? What would you feel?
I would be like, you're an idiot,
Why?
because it's probably gonna change.
What's gonna change? Will it changes if you have a daughter?
That you like this fucking person is probably gonna change.
And then
So
they
you
break
don't
up.
think
That's the
Ah,
reason you have a
roles have
problem with it.
reversed.
Okay.
Wait, what? I'm confused. But then they can break up if it's consenting.
They can
Okay,
do
how about they're
whatever
not
the fuck
dating?
they
How about
want.
they're not dating? They just fucked your daughter.
Yeah.
Like this
Dude, you
40-year-old
guys
just
are
took
putting
your
this
fucking
in
14-year-old to
daddy land,
Pound
bro.
Town,
You guys are
downtown.
putting this daddy land, bro.
Like you're hearing
that's
it through
all
the walls
ego
and
right
everything.
there.
If you would,
That's all ego right there.
you have
How
to
do you
watch.
feel? How do you feel
That's
about your?
ego.
How do you feel about your 18-year-old daughter getting fucked by a guy with face tattoos all over his face? How would you feel about that?
That
Well, I
would never
mean,
happen
if
'cause
he
I'm
was
her
a
father.
if he was around her
Yeah,
age, it was
well,
also a
she's
consenting
consenting.
adult above the
Well,
age of
she's
consent.
consenting. Oh, shut the fuck up. Hold on. How
Is
would
it,
you feel?
is
about
it
your
Post
daughter?
Malone? Is he rich? Does he have
No,
money?
he's not.
I mean,
Yeah,
is
he's
my
not.
daughter above the age of consent?
Yeah, she's 18.
Well,
She's
then I'm
above
not calling the
age of
police on him. I might personally kick his ass if he's a smart mouth to me or some shit. But I mean,
Exactly,
it's not like I'm gonna call the
exactly.
fucking
So my
police on him and tell
answer-
them that they fucking just
so my
raped my daughter or
answer-
some shit.
So my answer is the fucking same, dude. What the fuck?
Dude, but
No, but that's different though, because if some like 20-year-old came and fucked your 14-year-old daughter, you could call the police on them. You could. You could make a legal case against them. If someone's fucked my 18-year-old daughter, I'd be like, well, GG's, well played, dude. I can't fucking call the police on someone that has fucked my fucking legally aged daughter. I would look like a massive fucking idiot. But if someone just fucked my 14-year-old, I call the police. They come in there with like a fucking squad of dudes. They fucking put him on CSNBC, and fucking that dude fucking walks in and says, would you like to have a fucking conversation? Like, what are you talking? How do you miss this, dude? Are you actually? How are you able to understand the long-term effects of sex, but you cannot fucking understand the age of consent? That is actually so wild to me.
I already told you. I understand that.
He has a different point of view on the consent thing or the age thing.
It's just so crazy to me how you're able to understand like the concepts of pregnancy and like having children, all that, but you can't understand how like fucking a 14-year-old is illegal, but fucking an 8-year-old is completely fucking fine in the eyes of the law.
I have a different point of view on sex, not the age of consent. I already agreed with you.
Wait, what did you say? What the number was again? Age of consent thing? Did you say anything?
No, he didn't give an answer.
I say between 16.
He couldn't even, yeah, and he couldn't even answer why I shouldn't fuck an 8-year-old.
Let him answer, bro.
I say between 16 and 18 is a good.
And why did you say then 14? Why did you say 14 then? Like
I didn't say 14. You guys have been.
No,
saying
he
14.
made that example. So what?
I said me at whatever age I was in high school.
Freshman year.
I would have been able to consent. But I understand how I am not the subject matter.
Bro, I was on Omega looking at titties and shit.
Bro, I would have been fine. I would have been fine. If any 20, 30 or whatever would have fucked me in my freshman year, I would have been fine.
Yeah, but that adult definitely would have probably faced criminal charges.
Sure. Yes, because somebody wanted to do that to harm that person.
Bro, you know that consent though when you're 14, like that you're a virgin, like 99% of the time.
Who cares?
So
why are we demonizing sex like it's such an evil thing?
We're not demonizing sex. We're demonizing sex with people under the age of consent.
We're protecting sex. If anything, we're protecting it.
No, you're not. You're demonizing it.
No, we're not, because virginity should be taken through. If there's a virgin, they should.
I literally just told you how if someone fucked my 18-year-old daughter, I would have to like be like, well, GG's well played. Like I literally couldn't have a problem with it.
No, because the laws are on your side. The only reason you said that is because the laws are on your side. What if the law wasn't 18? What if it was 19? Would you press charges?
Yeah, obviously I wouldn't want my fucking daughter banging someone that's actively doing illegal shit that could have long-term ripple effects on her that she might not be able to be aware of because she's still young and unable to make those decisions for herself.
I was dating an 18, or I was dating a sophomore though when I was a senior, and she was younger.
No, because like, are you just like making up words that I'm not saying? Are you not hearing a fucking thing I'm saying, dude? Like, listen to the words coming out of my motherfucking mouth, dude. Fuck. You fucking inept retard. Holy shit.
Say it again.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, so if the age of consent was 8, it was like 19. This guy's fucking my 18-year-old daughter. Yeah, I would have a problem with that because on the moral ground of I don't want my daughter dating someone actively engaging in illegal activities that could have longer-term effects on her that she might not be able to comprehend because she's still younger than me.
Dating a sophomore, and she was younger than 18.
I got you. Big Daddy.
When I was in high school, I was a senior and I was 18. And she was like, since she was a sophomore, so she was younger than the threshold that we were dating and shit. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, it's illegal laws.
I had a threesome when I was 18 with a freshman girl that were twins.
It is.
Yeah,
you can press
believable,
charges.
Is that illegal? Is that illegal?
Wait, isn't there Romeo and Julia thing?
Is that illegal?
That's
in senior year, I was one of the teacher's pets. And the girl liked me, and she had a fucking twin sister, and we had fucking an orgy kind of thing with the two of them.
What the fuck?
Wait.
I mean, were you all the same age?
Idiot, bro.
Like, were you all the same age?
You said you had
He was
a
like a teacher. He was like a TA.
You're conveniently leaving the age factor, which is the whole focus of the conversation, out.
It's an orgy. It's just 3 people. It's not an orgy. It's a threesome.
And what was their age?
That's an orgy. Yeah.
They were freshmen.
Yeah, that's a huge fucking
swingers?
problem. Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah.
Well, I should fucking go to hell then, dude. What the fuck?
Well, at least jail. Yeah.
Aren't you protected under Romeo and Juliet laws? If you're 18,
probably.
Then
But at the same time, my main gripe is people like
fuck with twins. That's what I'm saying.
Put people behind bars like animals.
Bro.
for something fucking like sex, bro.
I swear to God,
In
people
that
are fucking
situation.
degenerate.
Like that is hilarious to me. How you want to fucking put people?
Well, no,
in
because it's
bar-
not just sex.
I
It's
think
sex
high
with a
school's,
minor.
like, fair
If you're
game.
insanely horny and you really have no fucking game to go out and fucking find a fucking prostitute or some shit like that. If
Maybe
you
you
really
don't.
have
Maybe
no
you don't.
fucking game, there's tons of legal escort fucking services on the internet. If you really
shit, I've used
cannot fucking, if that's still a fail for you, then fucking use your goddamn hand. But
I've
if you
used them
seriously
too.
need to fucking find a teenager to get the fuck off, then yeah, you have problems and you should probably be separated from the rest of society. And how we separate people
Maybe.
from society is jail. Yeah, get
Maybe.
over it, dude.
Maybe.
Fucking cry in a
Maybe.
fucking river about it then,
Maybe.
dude.
No,
High school's fair
no.
game, I think. Like as long as you're in high school
No.
and shit.
And that's why your 16-year-old daughter gets fucked by a lot of people because of your fucking mentality, man.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. Okay. Believable. Yeah, bro. My
You're so
super
fucking
woke
crazy, bro.
imaginary daughter,
No,
dude. That's just able to
they don't give a
comprehend
fuck
50
about it.
years in the fucking future. Yeah, dude.
They don't give a fuck about your little daddy mentality, bro. Fuck you, being like overprotective about sex.
Like, I'm
Be
just
careful
not,
with all
like,
of that.
I just can't believe you're really sitting here getting ass mad while you're trying to fucking defend pedophilia. You're an actual fucking
When you raise
idiot,
a
dude.
kid properly, you
What
teach
is
them who
pedophilia?
to
I already
avoid,
told
and they probably
Like, you're a
would
literal
never
fucking retard. You're
get put
literally
in that
getting ass
situation.
mad trying to fucking, like, vocally defend fucking pedophilia.
Don't
16
smack,
through
don't
18,
smack him. He's
16
gonna
through 18, yeah,
find your daughter, bro.
Pedophilia? That's pedophilia, 16 through 18.
He's a fucking-
Yes. Yes, that is. Yes,
You're
that is
fucking idiot.
definitionally pedophilia.
Actually,
Yes.
it's actually definitionally called hebophilia, but maybe you should do a little bit more research on that shit. Huh?
Ooh.
Wait, what
still
is,
go to
what is
jail, though, right?
Yeah, you
Wait,
still
what
go to
is
fucking jail the same,
definition?
bud.
Illegal.
The
No, it
defini-
depends where you're from. Because in
Yeah.
Massachusetts, you can 16 is the legal age.
It is the legal age, and pedophilia is the definition.
Massachusetts.
Is that the only state? Is that literally the
Nah.
only state?
I don't know. I just live here, so I don't know. There's other states that are 16 though.
Okay.
North
So-
Carolina, I think, is 6. No,
No, I didn't
So
even
you
know
fu-
that.
So he has an
Alabama's
audience,
probably 16.
bro.
or 16 is the age of consent. Let's see.
You're working on
Let's
emotion,
see.
my guy.
So you got Alaska, Arkansas.
And I'm just
Connecticut,
working off
Georgia,
of like what the
Hawaii,
fucking
Indiana.
law is and like statistics and like
Yes,
fucking
fine.
information.
What the law
Whereas you
is,
literally
and
have said
that's-
several times that you're using basically anecdotal evidence.
Hey, Bob. What if I'm 17 and she's 17, and then as soon as I nut, I turn 18? Is
I
that
gotta
okay?
go pee, motherfucker.
That's obviously not, bro. If you think that you're retarded.
So he had an orgy with twins. That's what you're saying.
That's the Romeo and Juliet laws. you're
Yeah,
talking
bro.
about.
Yeah, when he was a senior, he banged 2 freshmen high school twins, bro. like a base
believe him,
chat, bro.
He peaked,
think-
bro.
I think 3 years
Yeah,
is like a fair
nice.
distance and number
Yeah,
for
I
like-
think 2 to 3 years is fine. It's just like when it's 25, that's when